Okay, we're going to go ahead and start. So, this is a news article, an opinion. An opinion piece means this is what the author thinks and believes. This is not necessarily fact. You have to notice this as you read. The case against Mars colonization. The word count is 939, and the level is high school level. So, a photo of Mars, and we know that this is the red planet. We've been looking at that for a while. So, let's start. In 2018, a group of 60 scientists and engineers met at the University of Colorado Boulder to discuss Mars colonization. Interesting that that is right up the street from us in Colorado. So we're going to just read this briefly, and we're going to skip down here and read humans will contaminate Mars. This means humans will mess up Mars. So this is one of the headers, very important to look at. Robots are better than humans. This is another header. This is going to tell you what all of this is about. Let's fix the Earth first. So again, this is another header telling you what all of this is about. And then, so what's the verdict? And that means what is ultimately what you and I should think. So this author is going to tell us what to think right here. So let's go over those again because you're going to read the article from this perspective. Humans will contaminate Mars. We're going to mess it up. So that's this paragraph. Mess it up. Robots are better than humans. Robots maybe won't mess it up as bad. Let's fix the Earth first. So all that money could maybe be spent on Earth. And so what's the verdict? This is where the author is going to tell us what to think. Really important that you know that before you start reading. So let's start again. In 2018, a group of 60 scientists and engineers met at the University of Colorado Boulder to discuss Mars colonization. Elon Musk's SpaceX organized the Mars Workshop. Its goal was to begin making plans for landing, building, and maintaining a human colony on Mars within the next 40 to 100 years. But while SpaceX and partners ask whether we could live there, others still ask whether we should. In 2018, a Pew Research Center survey asked U.S. adults to rank the relative importance of 9 of NASA's current primary missions. Sending humans to Mars ranked 8th, only ahead of returning to the moon. Only 18% of those surveyed believe it a high priority. We have known for some time that the journey to Mars for humans would be hard. It's expensive, it's dangerous, and it's boring. However, like so many advocates of Mars exploration, I've always thought the sacrifice was worth it. But to test this belief, I wanted to look at the case against Mars. Below are 3 reasons humans should leave the red planet alone. So what I'm noticing here is that there's a bunch of facts. Things are lined up. Then the author goes to we. And then down here, I've always thought the sacrifice was worth it. But to test this belief, I wanted to look at the case against Mars. Below are 3 reasons humans should leave the red planet alone. When the author moves to I, you can be very sure that this is their opinion. So let's start. Humans will contaminate Mars. That means humans will mess up Mars. That's reason number 1. If humans do eventually land on Mars, they will not arrive alone. They would carry trillions of earthly microbes, which are very small living things such as bacteria and viruses. There is a real risk that some of these microbes could find their way onto the surface of Mars. In doing so, they might confuse, perhaps irreversibly so, the search for Martian life. This is because we wouldn't be able to distinguish indigenous life from the microbes we brought with us. Our presence on Mars could destroy one of our main reasons for being there, the search for life. Furthermore, there is no way of knowing how our microbes may react with the vulnerable Martian ecosystem. An ecosystem is a biological community made up of plants, animals, and microorganisms. Carl Sagan was an astronomer and the author of Cosmos. He argued that our priority is to preserve life on Mars, even if the Martians are only microbes. So this is basically all about how humans are going to muck it up. Robots are better than humans. Of course, one easy way to minimize the risk of contamination is to send robots to Mars instead of humans. That is the second argument against a manned trip to Mars. Robots have several advantages. They are much cheaper than humans because they don't require vast resources to provide things like water, food, and breathable air. They are immune to the risks of cosmic radiation, which are high energy particles that can harm the human body. Plus, robots don't get bored. Over the last 40 years, the international space community has an extraordinary history of sending robots to Mars. In 2018, Europe's European Space Agency's Mars Express identified liquid water buried on Mars. In 2018, the Curiosity rover discovered two possible signals of life: organic molecules and methane in the atmosphere. With the rapid progress in robotic and artificial intelligence, it is likely that robots will only get better. Robots on Mars will be able to carry out increasingly complex scientific research. They can investigate craters and canyons that humans can't reach, and they might even drill for Martian microbes. Let's fix the Earth first. The most pressing issue is balancing the dream of a second home and solving the problems we have in our current one. In the Pew survey mentioned above, a majority of US adults believe that NASA's number one priority is to fix problems on Earth. The billions or even trillions of dollars needed to colonize Mars could be better spent on other priorities. We could use the money to invest in renewable forms of energy to address climate change, or to strengthen our planetary defense, or the capabilities needed to prevent asteroid collision with Earth. We need to deal with problems on Earth, or there is no guarantee that we won't have the same problems on Mars. Furthermore, if something truly horrible were to happen on Earth, it's not clear that Mars would actually be able to save humanity. For example, giant underground bunkers on Earth could protect more people than a colony on Mars. It is also possible that the conditions on Earth, however horrific, may still be better than the Martian wasteland. Let's not forget that Mars does not have an atmosphere that is suitable for humans. An atmosphere is a layer of gases that surround a planet. Additionally, Mars has only one-third gravity, the force that pulls objects together, and is exposed to surface radiation approximately 100 times greater than that on Earth. So, what's the verdict? The arguments above show that we are perhaps not ready to go to Mars, at least not today. We need to first update our policies on planetary protection and apply them fairly. We need to understand humans' unique role in exploration beyond robots. And we also can't lose sight of challenges on Earth, nor use the promise of Mars as an opportunity to avoid our responsibility on Earth. But for me, the issue comes down to timing. The technology to send a human to Mars needs another 10, perhaps even 15 years to get ready. This is a good thing, and maybe we should use this time carefully to make sure that by the time we can go to Mars, we really should. The opinions expressed in this text are those of the author and do not necessarily represent the views of Newsella.